All right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday, May 20th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We got to hop right back into our afternoon meeting here. Great to see all of our students like Lori, Mark, Wendy, Robert, Lewis, Norman, and everybody else live inside Cybergroup. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, welcome on back. Got to zip right through this meeting, folks. We have class finishing up today, or not finishing up, rather. How about this? I'm living in the past. I was thinking of yesterday's phase one. We have class continuing today, the phase two stock course, lesson number 2. We are finishing up phase 2 come tomorrow at least. But, phase 2, lesson 2 today is actually the beginning of a mini series for all of our silver, gold, platinum, diamond, cyber trading students here in our room. We're talking more about preparing to trade the market open. So we'll be kind of going back in hindsight towards the charts from this morning, how we could best prepare a couple of these really volatile movers. I mean, Mara being one of them. So I'll look to provide some analysis on Mara, at least in terms of the actual trade here, inside our class later on today. Nonetheless, Mara ended up diving off after the open, ended up beginning to bounce roughly from 21. I'll tell you, I had a pretty crappy morning. I had a bunch going on my plate between PowerPoints and class, so I was a little out of my zone. I was down over $100 going into class, which isn't a whole lot, but it's to say I'm normally up like a few $100 at least at that point. So I had some coming back to get to, and I ended up jumping in on Mara off of 21. I wish I could say I ended up running it up towards close to 22. I ended up taking 28 cents. So you know what? I'm back in the plus. I'm up maybe like, I don't know, net total like 112 at this point now. But for right now, Mara, I mean, I don't mind putting this on our side list just to begin. I'm not going to show the Bitcoin chart for today. Not a whole lot really happened over the last 24 hours with that. But, tomorrow I'll come back to Bitcoin at least. Mara being a shortable stock, if we happen to see the markets, pull back a bit or Bitcoin itself continue to drop, then perhaps Mara goes with it. One thing that caught me by surprise, at least I'll say here, to begin for all of us live, is that, hey, I mean, normally you tend to see Mara move with Bitcoin, perhaps move with a major index like the S&P. You could see the S&P ended up making a really nice push across the morning, popped going into the afternoon. Mara completely against the grain. So, yeah, I mean, with that in mind, here, give me a sec. I apologize. Just getting a couple chats here really quick. All right, so sorry about that, folks. Yeah, for right now, Mara, don't mind putting this on our side list. Maybe I'll come back to this by the end of this meeting. We'll see what this is up to at least. But, if you do well on this stock day to day, I'd imagine you're going to follow this either way heading into the close. What we'll do, though, is just go from top to bottom. We'll see what else we got here. The BRPA trade. Hey, it's at the highs. It's up over 139% right now. But for the meantime, it's got a huge spread. It's just not really worth our time. I don't know if it's halted. Maybe it's halted. Nah, it's not halted. The time and sales is going. But nonetheless, though, you could see this stock. The order book is very blank, very few orders in total across the bid and the ask. So for right now, we'll pass. Just because it's at the highs doesn't mean that it's going to make a big move here. So for right now, I'd rather follow a much cheaper stock, one that has a much more liquid order book. This UONE trade's just exploding. Ended up making a huge pop going into like smack in the middle of the afternoon here, but ended up making a big squeeze going into 1 o'clock as it finally broke out over the highs off of 775. Ended up building support practically from there and $8. But, just go back to the daily chart. Well, I'll do that for you. But look at the daily chart here, folks, right? Speaks for itself. Ended up making a huge pop. I mean, practically this time last year. June 15th, roughly June 15th, June 20th, whenever that was, but ended up making this historic move, probably the best trade of 2020, if not the best trade, probably top 2, right? I mean, hard to argue seeing a stock go from like $3 all the way to over 50. All right, so with that in mind, ended up coming back down, pulled back. I mean, complete dumped off, but we only hope to see a fraction of this type of move going forward. So we've caught this stock on and off over the last year, and today making probably one of the better runs that we've seen since. So definitely right now the UONE trade. I'll put this on our main list. Makes the cut. Probably make the top by the end of it all. really quickly, folks. I got a couple chats here just going into this afternoon meeting. I'm going to respond back to each and every one of you just privately, just about something that happened, and I'll take care of it. U1K, Class K stock, not the warrant, but Class K, ended up making a very similar move. We see this happen, just with U1, U1K. Wouldn't shock me if the others that we've traded over the years, this one's super low float, so I'm not expecting much on this, but Cone was a big pop just from last year this time with U1. What was the other one? U1 Carve, C-A-R-V. That was the other one that ended up making a big push at the same exact time as U1, and just from that time last year. Doesn't mean that they're going to make good trades for this afternoon. Just wanted to check in with them at least to see. They weren't at the top of the gainers list, but between U1 and U1K, those two alone I'll put on our main list. All right, so let's see what else we got. LFMA, nice trade, pushing up pretty nicely. Broke a new high, still kind of lingering there right now. You'd assume resistance to be off of $5, 9,300 shares that were on the offer, or that are on the offer currently. Yeah, I guess I'll add this one too. LMFA. Don't know what the news is. Looks like it made a similar type of pop. I don't know if this is in line with U1 in terms of what the company does, but nice push here across the afternoon. Not as sharp of a trend across the day like U1 at least, but for right now, we'll definitely put this keep this in mind. PRPO, unfortunately, one that right now we're going to pass on, but ended up making a really good push from the morning. It was up a bit, but it was like really flat in pre-market here, so we had no interest in this stock, rightfully so, going into the open. Now, that said, as soon as it popped, Fausto was first to the punch on this call out when it ended up breaking above the first resistance level here off 450. Unfortunately, though, this ended up hitting reversal time right on cue, right off 10:30 Eastern, that is, and ended up dumping off. All right, how about this quick little pop quiz? I'm going to give a little free education for everybody here. For all of us in social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, take part in this as well if you'd like. From 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern Time, looking at this chart here, the 1-minute chart, from 8:30, generally speaking, what's the direction of this stock, folks? Now, you could say sideways. I mean, that definitely is the case for a little bit, but it's certainly not up. It is not going up from 8:30, right? Well, we're going to be talking about that in class. What is the direction of the stock leading into the market open? That is something I take, take very seriously, and I take everything seriously, but you know what I mean. I usually follow the direction of the stock as it's opening up as the direction that the stock will be in across the morning. Of course, that's not a full 100% guarantee, but that's where I start with. So, Bobby, you and I just covered that in a coaching session. Ray, right there too. So, hey, ended up providing a pop, but as soon as this sucker pulled back down below 21, that was a wrap. That was a wrap. That was it. Ended up providing us a 2-point plus short. Ended up bouncing roughly from like 19 or 1870-ish. It's back up to 1950, moving up nice. So, listen, it's a good side list stock. I just think that it's traded a lot of volume today. It does have a high float, so it has the gas tank to try and make another run up if it wants to. I guess I'll put this on the side list for right now. Come back to it maybe. All right, cool. That's all I got here. Oh, no, IOVA. How about this? The one where the CEO resigned like smack in the middle of the day yesterday. I'll tell you, these guys ended up having a nice recovery today. Pulled back after the open, but broke back over 17, ran from there. Beautiful move. Very liquid order book still. Just for as much as it dropped yesterday, ran back up. I wouldn't expect this to make another like big move heading into the afternoon. Maybe come back to it tomorrow. Definitely come back to it tomorrow. Good sideless stock at least still, but yeah, for the afternoon today, not a whole lot. Ooh, this BYFC, I forgot about this as I was kind of going through U1 and Carve and Cone. This one, BYFC, is another one that's tied in with U1. Broadway Financial ended up making that same type of squeeze. I forgot about them. You know what? This one's like pretty slow and flat, so it doesn't look that great. Maybe keep this on the back end there. I don't know. Keep it on your side list, I guess, for right now. I'd rather follow that U1 trade a lot more, but I don't know. We'll see. IHT pump and dump came back down, unfortunately, and that was it, flattened out. All right, we'll hop over to the losers list here, folks. You got this BDTX trade at the low of the day. Listen, just because it's hard to borrow doesn't mean I'm not going to put this on our list for us here. You know, if you have interactive brokers, Thinkorswim, Fidelity, you name it, you know, perhaps you have the shares to short this stock. So, you know, hey, BDTX. All I know is that it's on the way down. It has, you know, really good liquidity for a stock down 40% still. So for right now, I'll definitely put this on our list. I think the thing on this trade is that it's breaking all-time lows. This is all I can go back on for the daily chart dating back to January 31st of last year. So yeah, all-time lows for the stock. That's pretty interesting. We'll be, you know, talking about all-time highs and lows actually coming up next month in the phase 2 course, something to look forward to. For right now, this could be a good short though, as there's no historical underlying support. REGI, pass on this. Kohl's took a hit today. Kohl's had earnings, I thought, right? Ended up getting crushed after the market opened, let alone pre-market. But, yep. For a $54 stock, though, this is not the type of range that you want to trade with here heading into the close. I mean, we find stocks that are 10 times cheaper that make a better move. All right. There we go. How about this? We got Andrew Miguel here on YouTube saying, hello, Mr. Fausto. I am not Mr. Fausto. Fausto does the audio broadcast here in the morning. My name is Josh Levitan. I do our afternoon broadcast. I'm the senior instructor here at Cyber Trading University. Hey, Andrew, and for everybody else here on the streams, if you're unfamiliar with myself, if you have questions just that you would like to send over my way, I always answer through email. You can always email me right there, josh@ctutrading.com. All right, so folks, let me know if there's anything else up, down, left, right that you would want me to check out, look at just before we wrap up. What's going on, Jeff? Live inside our trading room there. All right, I'll tell you, I don't see anything else. I'll check out Benzinga Pro myself. I wanted to see if there was anything from YouTube or Facebook or, of course, Cyber Group. I'll tell you, how about this? BYFC is making the push. Look at this right now. All right, this is now worthy, at least for the meantime, of us watching this heading into the afternoon, making that push with UONE right now. Leda asking if phase worth watching. Nice squeeze here so far. I don't know what the news is on this stock. Maybe it's like earnings leak or something. Who knows? All right, so phase shares trading higher on volume report following NEGG report. Hackers attacked a U.S. unit of the Toyota Group and exposed financial and customer data. I don't know. That's all I got there. But ended up making a pop drop. It's like going back up. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll put this on our list. I'll put it on our list because it's still at the high, pushed all the way back up to the high. So it's not just a pump and dump or just a news related little move. That's it. And it shows some strength here, and it has a good order book. I like the spread and liquidity. So this one checks out. All right, we'll come back to space. Space starting to push back up. I mean, where we last left off with this was at like 1950, 1955-ish maybe, and pushed up another 10, 15 cents. And then Mara. All right, I'll add both to our main list right now. Space and Mara both will join Faye there. We're not at too big of a list, so, you know, otherwise I'd probably skip over them. But, you know, for right now, we have a decent list now at this point, folks. We got 2, 4, 6, 8 stocks in total so far to work with. You know, hey, I know that most of us will be joining myself coming up in class in about 15, 20 minutes from now. I look forward to seeing you folks there. We have a really complex, intricate class ahead, not just between this one, but following tomorrow morning as well. Now, for those of us not joining me in class, though, at least I know that Rich will be taking over the trading room. He'll be sharing a screen in a moment. We'll be posting and tweeting the picks out in just a second anyway, and he'll be taking care of you guys going into the afternoon. All right, for all of us in social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, again, I appreciate you folks sticking with us here every day of the week, every week of the month, and so forth. If you have any questions, feel free to email me once again. I'll post my email address right there one more time. But hey, if you'd like to join us live inside our trading room, go right down to the link on the banner below just to get started there with us. All right, I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.